Breaking news! A shift is happening before our eyes, and it involves the two most powerful figures in the Ravens franchise. One holds the keys to the offense. The other has been the face of the sideline for over a decade. But what if this season ends with a choice between them? But before we begin, be sure to like this if you're a true Ravens fan. This helps more fans find these in-depth analyses and shows that you're part of the group, win or lose. And while you're here, leave a comment below and tell us, would you choose Lamar Jackson or John Harbaugh if it came down to one? Now let's dive into the story that could define the next era of Ravens football. After a week of rumors, doubt, and a social media frenzy over his status, Lamar Jackson has officially returned to practice, and it's no exaggeration to say the entire tone around the team changed in an instant. Just days ago, fans were losing their minds trying to figure out what was really going on. Monday's practice had almost everyone back on the field, Roquan Smith, Ronnie Stanley, Pat Ricard, and others, but no sign of Lamar. John Harbaugh had said he'd be back this week, so where was he? Fans spiraled. Some tried to stay calm, saying he'll be out there by Wednesday. Others weren't buying it. Then the rumors hit. ESPN's Dan Graziano stirred the pot, saying Lamar's hamstring might keep him out of this week's game. That only fueled the panic. A video of Lamar grabbing food in West Palm Beach popped up, and the narrative took off. Was he really injured? Was something else going on? And was the team being honest about it? And then, boom, Lamar returned. Just like that, the energy flipped. Because Lamar Jackson doesn't just play quarterback for this team. He is the team. The Ravens with Lamar feel like contenders. Without him, it's a dark place. But his return isn't the end of the story. It's the beginning of a bigger question. What kind of offense are we running now that he's back? One thing is crystal clear. The Ravens can't keep treating Lamar like a superhero every single snap. They have to protect him, not just for this week, but for the long haul. Treat this game plan as if Cooper Rush were the quarterback, not the reigning MVP. Don't rely on Lamar's legs to save the offense every time things break down. Make the offense operate as if Lamar can't run, even though we all know he can. That means quick passes, short routes, design screens, and a steady commitment to the run game. Give the man a chance to read and release, not dance and dodge. Because let's be honest, the offensive line has been rough. Predictability has plagued the play calling. And while Lamar's magic has masked a lot of those issues in the past, we've now seen what happens when he's not there to cover up the mess. If this offense is going to thrive down the stretch, it's got to evolve. Use Lamar's powers as the icing, not the cake. And speaking of evolving, what's happening inside the Ravens locker room right now might be the most telling sign that something deeper is shifting in Baltimore. A report from the Baltimore Sun highlighted the recent removal of the ping pong tables and other games from the team facility, making it sound like the coaches were cracking down after the recent losses. But wait, turns out, that wasn't the whole truth. According to ESPN's Mike Garafolo, the removal was actually initiated by veteran players, not the coaching staff. And John Harbaugh confirmed it. Even Kyle Hamilton, when asked, was surprised to learn it was the players who made that call. The message from the players? We don't have time for games. Now that's a bold move, and maybe a necessary one. But is it the right one? On one hand, it shows accountability, leadership, veterans saying, we need to be locked in. But on the other, it could signal a team grasping for control, removing the few moments of levity and camaraderie that help players bond. Ping pong and video games may seem small, but they matter in a long season. They build chemistry. They allow teammates to decompress. Taking that away could be a warning sign that the locker room is feeling fractured. Which brings us to something even more pressing, the fan frustration that's beginning to boil over toward the coaching staff. Questions are flying about Todd Monken's play calling. Fans are upset over how players are being used, or more accurately, not being used. But while Monken is being roasted by fans and media, defensive coordinator Zach Orr is somehow flying under the radar, even though many believe he's doing worse. Why is that? The truth might be simpler and uglier than you think. Zach Orr has history with this team. He's a Raven through and through. From undrafted rookie linebacker to assistant coach to defensive coordinator, his journey is part of the Ravens' DNA. Todd Monken? He's the outsider. And when things go wrong, it's easier to blame the new guy than the one who's been here for years. But fans are catching on. Some are even saying that Harbaugh and Orr are being protected at the expense of Monken. That this staff is more focused on preserving loyalty than performance. And it's got the fan base questioning everything, from the culture to the chain of command to whether Harbaugh himself is still the right man for this team. Because here's the truth, this isn't just about X's and O's anymore. It's about identity. It's about who holds the power, and what kind of future the Ravens are choosing. And no one holds more leverage right now than Lamar Demetrius Jackson Jr. Lamar's not just a two-time MVP, He's the face of the franchise, the reason the team has remained relevant, the core of the offense, and frankly, the reason many fans still believe in this team at all. And this upcoming offseason, with that looming $75 million cap hit, the Ravens front office will absolutely want to sit down with him to restructure. But that conversation won't be one-sided, not this time. Lamar could walk into that meeting and ask the question no one in the front office wants to hear: what are we doing with the head coach? Because if there's one undeniable shift in the tone of the fan base and some of the players, it's that the trust in John Harbaugh is thinning. That article from the Baltimore Sun? It wasn't just a routine mid-season report. It felt like something more. Like a calculated piece of PR meant to protect the coaching staff and redirect the blame. But the response from the locker room and the fans was telling. Nobody bought it. When the team removed the ping pong tables and games, it was spun as a move by coaches to increase focus. Then it was revealed that players, asterisk not coaches asterisk, made the call. That alone shows something bigger. The players are taking ownership because they don't feel the leadership is doing enough. And Harbaugh, the man once considered one of the best culture coaches in the league, he looks like a coach struggling to connect with today's team. Veterans seem frustrated. Roles are unclear. Communication appears to be breaking down. It's been brewing for years, but this season, it feels like everything's bubbling to the surface. Let's go back a bit. Remember how many fans defended Harbaugh for keeping the team steady through the post-Flacco era? For guiding the team through the early Lamar years? That goodwill carried for a while. But now, the narrative is changing. People are asking, how long does loyalty get to outrun results? And let's not forget what's happening around the league. The Colts, Lions, Bucks, even the Patriots, teams with arguably less talent than the Ravens are winning games. Why? Because of coaching. Because of structure. Because their coaches are adapting to their rosters and not forcing square pegs into round holes. Meanwhile, in Baltimore, we're stuck watching a top-tier roster underperform. We're watching a historically dynamic quarterback being asked to carry an offense that lacks creativity and protection. And we're watching a head coach who seems more interested in maintaining status quo than pushing the team forward. Fans have had enough, and you can hear it in their voices. From venting about Monken being scapegoated, to questioning why Zach gets a pass, to openly wondering if Harbaugh has lost the locker room, this isn't typical mid-season frustration. This is systemic discontent. It's fans realizing that maybe, just maybe, the window isn't open as long as Lamar is here. Maybe it's actually closed as long as Harbaugh remains. And that's where the crossroads becomes very real. Lamar Jackson has the power to force change. He can make it clear that he's not willing to sign off on another 5 years of this cycle. He can use his leverage to push for a new direction, one that builds around him the right way, with a scheme that protects him, maximizes his weapons, and stops treating him like the sole savior of the franchise. And here's the kicker. If the Ravens try to call his bluff, they're playing a dangerous game. Because with that no-trade clause in his deal, Lamar controls his destiny. If they try to move him, he chooses where he goes. And there will be no shortage of suitors. We saw the bizarre collusion-like silence last time. That won't happen again. Teams will line up, and someone will give him exactly what he wants, financially, structurally, and culturally. So the Ravens have a choice to make. Stick with Harbaugh and risk alienating the most important player in franchise history? Or build a future around Lamar and finally make the bold changes needed to get this team back to where it belongs, competing for a Super Bowl, not just surviving another wild card round? Fans know the answer. You can feel